My boyfriend decided to start a religious debate with my grieving sister days after our dad died, then told me I couldn't break up with him because he didn't agree. Posted by You Throw Away Armchair. A little background, I am an atheist and my boyfriend happens to be one too. My family is Christian, but they are the type that loves everyone, accepts people for who they are, thinks gay marriage is fine, and accepts that I am an atheist. My parents have always had that be Christ-like mentality, which sometimes doesn't mesh well with more conservative Christians. But anyways, they are awesome people and I love them. Our dad died after a rough battle with cancer a week ago. It was pretty bad and my family is mourning right now. We are a pretty tight-knit family, so we are reeling ATM. We had a funeral at a local church, and it was really nice and beautiful. I personally don't hold the same beliefs, but I respect other people to have their own opinions, and I don't take offense or make it a private mission to somehow prove them wrong, which is something my boyfriend has a tendency of doing. He's more judgmental, and he's curbed back a lot, but it's still there. Yesterday, I get a phone call from my older sister in tears because my boyfriend started going at her in regards to her faith. She's the same as our parents. He sent her a message on Facebook offering his condolences, since they haven't really had a chance to talk after my dad's death. She thanked him and said that our dad wasn't in pain anymore, and that he was with God now at peace, and my boyfriend said you're entitled to your opinion. I just don't feel the same way. This kind of pissed off my sister, because this isn't the time or place for that kind of stuff, and I agree with her. She told him that it wasn't very appropriate to make comments like that to someone who recently lost a parent. But I guess my boyfriend took that as an opportunity to make a debate out of it, and my sister ignored him. She showed me the messages, and I just feel so angry. It's one thing to not agree with someone, it's another to be an ass and be rude about it, especially at a time like now. My family has never pressured him or made him feel awkward about being an atheist. When I told them they nodded and said that they loved me, etc. It's not even about faith, it's about the quality of the person. In my opinion, if someone tries to push their ideologies on another, whether they are atheist, Christian, Muslim, etc., they have deep-rooted insecurity. I feel really mad at my boyfriend, and this feels like a deal breaker for me. We've only dated a few months, we've known each other for a few years, and I realize now how utterly grating he is. It's not a blatant nails on a chalkboard irritating, but more like, makes excuses, is lazy, doesn't have a job, stopped going to school because no one will hire him as an intern. He complains constantly about that shit, but does nothing to change his circumstances. He actually got mad at me last Christmas season because he bought me a $5 game as a gift, and I didn't buy him a $60 game. For one, we had just started dating each other a month before I didn't feel comfortable shelling out that much money on a gift for a new boyfriend. I didn't expect anything at all from him because of how anti-Christmas he was. I did get him a gift, a $10 game, and he tried to guilt me about it because I have a job. Sorry, this is turning into an angry rant. What would you do in this situation? I am ready to cut contact with this person. What is the best way to handle this? Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I feel really mad at my boyfriend, and this feels like a deal breaker for me. We've only dated a few months, we've known each other for a few years, and I realize now how utterly grating he is. It's not a blatant nails on a chalkboard irritating, but more like, makes excuses, is lazy, doesn't have a job, stopped going to school because no one will hire him as an intern. He complains constantly about that shit, but does nothing to change his circumstances. He actually got mad at me last Christmas season because he bought me a $5 game as a gift, and I didn't buy him a $60 game. For one, we had just started dating each other a month before I didn't feel comfortable shelling out that much money on a gift for a new boyfriend. I didn't expect anything at all from him because of how anti-Christmas he was. I did get him a gift, a $10 game, and he tried to guilt me about it because I have a job. This guy sounds like an asshole. You already call him grating after dating a few months. He isn't worth the effort. Break up and move on. You'll find another guy who isn't such a jerk. Commenter 2. As an atheist myself, people like him are the assholes that annoy me. Just because someone believes something doesn't mean you need to try and wage a war against religion. Believe what you believe and let others do the same thing. What he's trying to do is try to prove to your sister that she's wrong and make himself feel bigger, smarter than her, and picking the death of your father to do that is just ridiculous. From the rest of the post, he sounds like a child and an asshole. Get rid of him and be happy. Update. Next day. Hi guys, I want to thank you for the wonderful comments. My post was a mix of needing to vent, get my head and emotions in order, and read great advice. I felt like a burden turning to anyone in my family about it, but you guys helped out a lot. Yesterday I took my sister and my mom out to have dinner and veg out. I let both of them know that I was dumping my boyfriend, and my mom wasn't aware of the reason. My sister only told me what happened, and my sister said uncharacteristically, "Because he's a shit," which surprised our mom. I explained to her what happened, and our mom just shook her head and said, "He clearly isn't happy with himself if he did that. I'll pray for him, but good riddance." This morning, I blocked him on every conceivable social media and email and gave him a call. He acted like nothing was wrong, and I confronted him in regards to what he said to my sister. He apologized and said that he was drunk, so he had no real control over what he was saying. This pissed me off more and told him that it wasn't an excuse for being an asshole. He knew what he said. I knew I fucked up after our conversation ended abruptly, but he made zero effort to apologize to my sister in the following days. I told him that he was only apologizing now because he was in the shit house, and he only regretted that he was getting yelled at. I don't really understand his logic. My sister is a sweetheart, and I guess he assumed she wasn't going to say anything to anyone. He kept making up excuses that he was stressed out because he doesn't have a job, that he was drunk, so it really wasn't him who said it, and that I should just accept the apology and move on because clearly it was just a mistake, nothing malicious. I reiterated that he made zero effort to reach out for 2 days to apologize to her or to come clean to me about what happened. The only remorse that he's expressing is because I was pissed at him. I told him that we were done and that I had no interest in maintaining a friendship with him. He began to argue with me that I couldn't break up with him because I was angry, and this was just a heat-of-the-moment decision. He actually said that if I dumped him at that moment, it didn't count, and that we were still together. He didn't agree to the breakup, so thus it meant that our relationship wasn't over, and that I had to cool down and talk with a calmer head. Apparently he thinks me waiting a few days to tell him no again will be a more credible decision. I noped out of that and told him he had to respect what I wanted, and that a breakup absolutely does not have to be mutual. No person can hold another person hostage in a relationship with they want to leave. It was fundamentally wrong. I kind of felt bad because in the end he was in tears, adamantly saying that it wasn't really his fault. He was drunk, and he had no control over his filter. I held my own and said my goodbyes. It probably seems cold-hearted, but my family comes first, especially over asshats. It's evening now, and I had a day devoted to my family and our pugs. I didn't realize how much of a downer my ex was, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to worry about his mountain of self-created problems. Looking back, I think he held on because I am financially secure, and the gears of my life are in motion, the wheels whetted by achievements where he hasn't. He hasn't made any effort to contact me or any family since our last interaction. I hope for the best for him. Thank you all for your wonderful, encouraging comments. Relevant comments. Commenter. So I'm a bit late to the party, but I want to share an anecdote about my husband from back when we were dating. He's not atheist, he identifies more with being agnostic. That being said, a few years ago one of my cousins passed away, and I invited him to come along with me to the funeral. My uncle and aunt are very deeply religious people, which he knows. I was aware that there was going to be a very deep religious vibe over the entire event, and I told him I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable. He told me not to worry about it. Over the course of the week leading up to the funeral, I caught him reading the Bible from time to time. The day of the funeral, he gives a card to my grieving relatives. After the event, my boyfriend went home, and I went with my parents to my uncle and aunt's house. They were looking over the messages and cards people had left. When they got to my boyfriend's card, my aunt started crying. Inside the card he had written, "The righteous perish, and no one ponders it in his heart. Devout men are taken away, and no one understands that the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil. Those who walk upright enter into peace, they find rest as they lie in death. My condolences, his name." My agnostic boyfriend took time out of his day to not only learn about Christianity and the Bible, he later told me it was his first time reading it, but he put forth an effort to care for my family. I asked him why he did it, and he told me he wanted to find something to say that would strike a chord with my uncle and aunt. Coincidentally, the quote he chose also happened to be one of my aunt's favorites. "Atheist or not, you deserve someone that will love not only you but your family as well, and give them the respect they deserve. I hope you find your man one day, as I have found mine." Commenter 2. I hate the "it wasn't me, it was the alcohol" excuse. It's like a drunk driver claiming that his decision to drive drunk was made under the influence of alcohol, and therefore he shouldn't be held accountable.